Hey all, I hope you all are doing well and welcome back to my channel. So since many of you enjoyed my meal prep video last time and asked for a more detailed one on how I plan and prep for the whole week. So today I'll walk you through how I plan, what I prep, how I turn my meal preps into recipes, plus a few handy tips along the way. Cooking every day can feel like a chore, especially if you're working or have little ones at home. So without planning, it gets overwhelming pretty quickly. When it comes to meal prep, there is always two ways to go about it. You can either bulk prep over the weekend or prep a little each evening for the next day. It really depends on your routine. Personally, I switch between both styles depending on my schedule, and it really makes my weekday cooking so much easier. So stay tuned till the end, and I am sure it will help you stay organized and make healthy home cooked meals for your family with less stress. Before I start planning my meal preps, I always take a quick look at my pantry and my fridge to see if there's any leftover veggies in the fridge to make use of them first before buying anything more, and then I plan my meals around them. So here's what my weekly menu looks like for this week. This changes every week and revolves around what is left out and what we want to eat that week. I usually plan my dishes for 5 days and intentionally leave 2 days open since we are a family of 4 and there is always some leftovers or we might end up going out some days. So keeping those 2 days flexible helps me to avoid any food wastage and manage everything better. So this week's meal plan is just a rough estimate, but I always make sure that my everyday menu includes at least 2 sources of protein. So if you are following along, you can always swap in your own alternatives to suit your family preferences. Storing the veggies right. Since this week I have planned to make sambar, pulao and fried rice, I have been chopping my vegetables accordingly and storing them in different airtight containers. So for sambar, I usually cut everything in advance except the brinjal since it changes its color very soon. I like to cut that fresh on that day, but I keep them together so I don't have to search for it later. And a lot of you have asked me if it's actually safe to store veggies like this, and honestly it is, as long as you store them the right way. What really matters is how you store them and how soon you use them. Personally, I don't keep the cut veggies for more than 2 or 3 days, and I make sure I use them up within that time. Or if I'm not using them, I just freeze the rest because frozen veggies can be used for up to 2 weeks. So there are certain things that you need to follow while storing the veggies. First is to wash the veggies really well and then dry them properly before you cut them, and then store them in good airtight containers. I also like to line the containers to prevent any excess moisture built up that can spoil the veggies fast. So storing them this way, they stay fresh for 3 to 4 days without any problem. And if you need them to stay fresh for longer, you can always freeze them. Meal planning does take some time, so I did really suggest getting as much help from your family as you can. It makes the whole process quicker and a lot more fun. I usually have my little helpers sort out the greens, which not only saves time for me but also keeps them engaged in the process. I also like to keep my go-to ingredients like the ginger, garlic, curry leaves ready in advance for the week, and it saves me a lot of time. And this container has been so helpful that way. It helps me to keep everything sorted and in one place. Now moving on to cooking the lentils and pulses. I had soaked chickpeas overnight, so I am going to pressure cook them and use what I need for today, and I will refrigerate the rest for using it later during the week. I had also soaked quinoa to make cutlets, which I'll be showing later in the video, so I am cooking that as well. I am also cooking the lentils for sambar, so everything is going simultaneously so I can save time. If you're pre-cooking the lentils to make dal or anything, I did always suggest using them within 1 or 2 days to keep it fresh. And another way is to soak the lentils in advance and store them and cook them on the day you plan to use them. This way it will cook faster as well as stay fresh. Since I had everything prepped and ready like the veggies, lentils, the sambar which usually takes a while to cook was ready in no time. Having boiled potatoes in hand can make so many dishes come together quickly, so I always boil a batch. The trick to boil it well is to simply run a knife through it and pressure cook them as usual. Boiling them this way can make sure they cook evenly, and peeling them also becomes so convenient. Storing boiled potatoes in an airtight container keeps them safe to use for up to 4 to 5 days. You can even turn them into a variety of dishes, like I use them to make cutlets, toast, aloo paratha for this week. Making basic gravy is an amazing way to cut down the cooking time. Here I am making a basic onion gravy like how I did with the tomatoes last time. I always customize it according to my needs, and to make this I had chopped 1 kg of onion and added them to about half cup of oil, frying them well with a little salt and a pinch of sugar to help them caramelize faster. Once they turn golden in color, I let the mixture cool completely and then store it in an airtight container. And I use this in all my sabzi recipes throughout the week. Making tomato puree is another great trick that helps you cut down the cooking time by half and even prevents the leftover tomatoes from getting wasted. So to do this quickly, I pressure cook the tomatoes, and once they are cooked, I remove the skin and then puree them and store it in airtight container, or even you can freeze them. During the week, I substituted it with everywhere where I needed tomatoes, like to make the pulao as well as the tomato sauce for my pasta. I also like to make a batch of chutneys for the week, which helps to enhance the flavor of my dishes. So first up is the green chutney. So whenever I have some extra mint or coriander, I make a batch and store this. You can refrigerate it for a few days and freeze it to keep it for longer. So add in all the ingredients and grind it along with a few ice cubes. The ice cubes help to maintain its vibrant green color and keeps the flavor fresh. So during the week I use this chutney to enhance the flavor of my dishes like the pulav, paneer rolls, chicken burgers and more. Next, I also made a batch of tomato chutneys since I had dosa, idli and chapatis in my menu. So to make this, I took around 8 Kashmiri chilies and 6 regular chilies. I soaked them in hot water for about 20 minutes and then I blended it with 4 large tomatoes, 10 to 15 garlic cloves, some salt and a little water. Next, I am going to blanch some veggies like the cauliflower, broccoli, beans and carrots. Parboiling really helps to cut down the actual cooking time. So what I actually do is boil the veggies for about 4 to 5 minutes and then immediately transfer them into cold water. This step stops the cooking right away and keeps the color vibrant. After that, I store the veggies in freezer. They are super handy to have it ready and you can quickly make some dishes like pulav, cutlets, upma or even making korma. Next, I am going to make some healthy protein-rich patties and cutlets. I feel making cutlets is one of the best way to sneak in some veggies to my kids. So since they love eating cutlets, so I am making both veggie cutlets and chicken cutlets to store them for the week so that I can use them as a side dish when I need some kind of protein in my food. So to make the veg cutlets, I am using some boiled black chana along with the foxtail millet and the potatoes that we had cooked earlier. Since my chopper broke today, so I had used the blender, but it over blended it and made the mixture too pasty. So anyways, to make the cutlet, you have to fry some onions, then add in the spices, green chilies, the blanched broccoli and the blended mixture. Then mix them all well. Once they are cool, then you can make it into cutlets. They are super healthy and tasty as well. For the chicken patties, I ground the chicken with all the ingredients and a few spices. For this, I will be making a batch of both patties and small size cutlets as well, since I plan to use them in making burgers, wraps and even use it as a side dish for my rice. So you can make so many variations of it if you have this cutlets ready with you. I also marinated some chicken. I used a very simple marination of chili powder, lemon juice, garam masala, some ginger garlic paste and yogurt. I used this chicken during the week to make kebabs and also added some fried chicken to the fried rice. Next, I am marinating some paneer to make some paneer tikka and rolls during the week. I have shared a complete recipe in my air fry videos. In case you want to check it out, I will share the link in the description below. This pickled onions and beetroot are one of my favorite these days. It's so simple and adds such a nice tangy crunch to your meals. So to make this, I just take some cut beetroot, sliced onions and 2 green chilies, and to this I added about half cup of vinegar and 1 cup of hot water along with some salt and a little sugar. Let it rest for 2 days, and by the second day it's ready to use. It keeps getting better as the flavor develops. Lastly, since I had pasta on my meal plan this week, I boiled a batch of it with a little of salt and oil, and once it's completely cooled, I stored it with a good drizzle of oil so that the pasta doesn't stick to each other. So having everything ready made things so much easier during my week. When I wanted to cook the pasta, I had to just toss in the pre-cooked veggies, some pasta sauce and the pasta itself, and dinner was ready in no time. And that's all for today's meal prep video. I really hope you found this video helpful. Meal planning and prepping might take some effort at the start, but trust me, it makes the week so much more smoother. It's always tempting to order food from outside, but when you have everything ready at home, cooking becomes quicker, healthier, and so much more satisfying. So let me know in the comments below if you found these tips helpful, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more such videos. I will see you all soon with a new video. Until then, take care and bye.